If you saw our last video, you've heard me play with this idea that as you move up in seniority as a leader, it's like becoming a bigger boat with a much bigger wake. I want to take that analogy a little bit further and share with you something else that we talk to clients about as they're moving up in their organization or as they're building out a bigger team around them. And that's this idea of a control panel. So, if you are the captain of a relatively small vessel, you may be able to look behind you and see, is the engine running the way it should? You're probably the one that was in charge of making sure that all of the supplies that you needed got on board that boat. You're probably the one who's steering that vessel. But if you are the captain of a much larger ship, you are probably responsible and should be spending your days sitting in the bridge looking at a control panel. You're not going to get out of your seat and run down to the engine room to make sure that all systems are go. You're not going to leave the bridge and run to the galley to make sure that you have all the supplies that you need. Instead, you're going to rely on your team to bring you the information that you need, and you're going to make sure that all systems are go by checking the gauges and the dials and the information that you have in front of you on your control panel. If you're someone who's moving into managing a much bigger team, you need to embrace this analogy and think about, what reports do I need to be getting from my team? What information do I need on my control panel? How am I going to tell if all systems are go or if we're headed for trouble? This will help you lower the temperature, lower the stress that you feel, and really do a lot to keep you working at the right level within the organization. So, if you've made a change like this recently in your career and you haven't thought systemically in a really strategic way about your control panel, I'd encourage you to take the time to do that.